Shri Rakesh, who is CEO of Quintus Global Private Limited. He is well recognized in the industry, felicitated, honored by leading media houses in the magazine of industry, reputed as young entrepreneur with difference. He was one of the youngest to be invited as member of Management Council of Delhi Management Association. I would like to request Shri Sinha, please kindly come on podium.
Very good evening. I carried a presentation with some 10 slides, 30 minutes of talk, so I'm not going to use any slides. It's pretty much a fag end of the day. All are very tired. Many of you have also already left for the day. Quick introduction about me because it will connect to the entire topic. I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my third venture, so I'm typically a startup founder. Very early in my life I started doing it. Now it has become a trend. Many of you would be doing it now. So I started almost my entrepreneurial journey pretty much as my first stint 18 years ago. It was a rough journey, but been successful, as I think the ma'am was talking about. Felt very nice when some of the media houses recognized and some of the associations recognized me. I will not use any slides, but there are a few specific points I want to leave for all the people, students, even the professors, as well as any corporate leader who is in the room. So, three interesting statements. HR is going to die as a function. I'm a CEO, I don't want an HR guy. Difficult, right? Very harsh. And I'm telling you honestly, I'm being a CEO, I don't want an HR guy in my organization. Second statement. We talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Kya hota hai Atmanirbhar? Atmanirbhar is self-reliant, right? If you're talking about self-reliant, why do you need priest? And I'm talking exactly the language of one of the CEOs and the founder of the largest conglomerate possible on the earth. And he talks to me in the same language. He says, Rakesh, why do we need priest? HR is priest. If you need to talk to the God, you need to be self-reliant. So if the Prime Minister is talking about being self-reliant, why do you need priest? Why do you need HR? So HR as a term is going to be dead. That's the number two statement. Number three, this is very, very important for all of you. The term, I don't know how many of you heard this term called lure, L-U-R-E. Anyone who has heard this term L-U-R-E? What is lure?
Luring people, influencing people, enticing people.
Very nice. But I have created a different acronym for it, ma'am. Thank you for it. L-U-R is an acronym. And this is very, very important for many of you, and particularly for leaders like me. L is for learning. We all talked about skilling, upskilling, etc. It is about learning. What you think about is U and R-E. U is about unlearning. That's the biggest challenge. We have a huge baggage always. I'm telling you guys, youngsters, particularly, you will not believe it. Every alternate week I am at a campus because I believe it is my social responsibility to give it back to the society and young generation. So I talk to a lot of students. Every campus I go and talk and visit, and I talk about this lure by saying first is learn, second is unlearn, and the third RE stands for relearn. This is the biggest problem we are facing in cricket as well, my friends. We are doing very well, but we are not unlearning some of the mistakes of the past, and we are not relearning how to play Australia well. Haven't we? How disappointed we were on Sunday. This is all about unlearning and relearning. And this is the problem with the HR fraternity. HR is still going very traditional way. I give you a very interesting example. Everybody here and many other conferences, and I'm talking little being a rebel from that point of view, everybody talks about AI, ML. How many of you have really used AI, ML in any use case? Tell me. कहाँ पे यूज किया आपने AI? Chat GPT. Okay. I give you very interesting metric. This is a survey and which we did it to confirm that every HR progressive leader and the business leader who is talking about automation and digital and AI and everything in the same breath, they have no clue of what is the difference between a digitalization and digitization. They're two different things, first. Second, all people who are talking about AI ML, and I can give you examples. There are few large corporates of India, the CFOs places a call to me and say, Rakesh, we have a budget because board has approved a budget to deploy a generative AI. We don't have a clue what to do about it. Can you help us to give us a use case to deploy it? That's the kind of situation we are dealing with. Because the same CFO who is having the budget, or the HR head who is having the budget to deploy that generative AI or AI, actually is using an Excel file to review the data. I think the ma'am before me was talking about data. Data is so important. The problem is we still believe Microsoft Excel as technology. How many of you believe Microsoft Excel as a technology automation? That's a big problem. If you think we have got Excel and PowerPoint and we are still using half of the work, I can give you hundreds of use cases where we're using an Excel file. Finally, you're taking a data dump from a business, you have deployed a BI. I can talk about many HR organizations. I'm right now working for an organization which is 160 lakh crore organization, and you can guess it. There are 11 listed companies, 21 business units, 50,000 people working with the promoter and the family to reimagine their HR. They have 900 people. The cost of the HR people in their organization is 300 crores. Many companies don't exist today which has a revenue of 300 crores. They have 300 crores as the cost of the HR team. And we are reimagining that. And what we are finding with these guys is they are heavily investing into AI ML, but finally, majority of the guys are still using Excel file. They are taking dumps from the Tableau. They have deployed BI, Cognos, everything, all the kinds of tool you'll talk about, but finally they are still using Excel and so on and so forth for doing a data messaging. So what we need to change here, and there's a question for all of you here. You know, have you heard this term called escape velocity? I'm sure you would have heard this term chokers in cricket, right? I'm surprised people are not reacting. Escape velocity you have not heard? Okay. The escape velocity is the velocity required by an object or a rocket to escape the gravitational pull of the earth. Any guesses what kind of a speed which is required to escape the velocity of the earth to go into the space? Excellent, brilliant. It's 11.2 kilometers per second. 11.2 kilometers per second, which is equal to 4,000 kilometers per hour. Have you been in any of the vehicles? कोई कार, कोई बाइक ड्राइव किया है 4,000 किलोमीटर पर आवर पे चलने वाली? किसी ने यहाँ पे? किसी ने ड्राइव किया है? किसी को एक्सपीरियंस हो कि 4,000 किलोमीटर पर आवर वाली व्हीकल में हम बैठे हैं एक बार? Have anybody tried that? You want to experience it, right? So if you want to experience it, that is all about self-reliant, which is about moving from incremental speed. And I want to throw two terms for you guys, like I have sharing with you this lure. I talked about HR as a term is going to be dead. It's all about people. So go beyond HR. And this is about incremental versus exponential. So incremental is all about moving from 150 kilometer per car to 160 kilometer per car, 170 kilometer per car. That will take at least 1,000 years for us to become self-reliant. Whatever the government data will say, it will take at least 1,000 years. At least not in my lifetime. Maybe yours, I don't know. It has to be exponential. And to exponential, you have to what? You have to do reimagine things. I think the topic was about how HR can drive business transformation. So you have to be reimagining it. You can't just be doing what traditional HR and trying to incremental improvement to the processes, to the practices, to the technology, and so on and so forth. You have to reimagine that role, that function, and have a seat on the table with the business to really do that. Just by working with the business, you don't get the seat on the table. That is where the whole challenge has to happen. We need to challenge that entire situation. I'll just like to give you another couple of interesting terms before I just wrap up. One term is, how many of you heard CM? What is CM? Chief Minister. At least तो बोल सकते हैं Chief Minister. How many of you heard this term MD? Right. Now this is what we expect all these functional leaders, HR leaders, and maybe many of young leaders to be: not the Chief Minister, neither Chief Minister nor Managing Director, but be the CM and but be the MD. If you really want to be successful in your corporate roles and avatars or whatever role, be a CM and MD. The first CM is called, in our parlance, we call it chaos monkeys. What? Chaos monkeys. Create chaos in your organization. Then only you can solve for it. If you don't create a chaos, you will only do incremental growth, incremental improvements. Create chaos. Be a chaos monkeys. And the second term, MD, is not managing director, but is master of disasters. If you don't bring disasters, you can't disrupt. And if you can't disrupt, you can't make it exponentially different and reimagine it. So if you really want to, and this is as a students if I am talking about, and I always feel very good to talk to students particularly, because it looks like going back to the college days, my own college days, right? And we used to have the same struggle by sitting through the day without even realizing what we are here for. You know, sometimes struggling by saying, अच्छा भी certificate मिलना है इसलिए रुकना पड़ेगा types, you know. So I have done all that. So I think what is important here is this terms, if you can take some of this term back with you, terms like lure, terms like, chaos monkeys. I want to give you last term for you. Have you heard the term BAU? BAU? No one from corporate here? BAU? It's business as usual, right? That's what we say in corporate. It's a business as usual. So it's keep on running, whatever. It's keep the lights on. That's what it's business as usual. In fact, I don't use BAU these days. And if you are going to use a different term, which I'm going to give it to you, I must tell you are going to be a disruptor. The term which I use these days, and you can Google it, you'll find on the Google with a lot of my articles, I talk about DAU. आप जाइएगा अपने इंटर्नशिप जहाँ कर रहे होंगे, आप जिस कॉलेज में काम कर रहे होंगे, आप जिस कॉर्पोरेट में कर रहे होंगे, go and talk to them about DAU. The term DAU stands for disruption as usual. How can you make disruption as usual? By saying, okay, fine, this is what the disruption is, we'll take care of it. So you create the disruption. Don't be in reactive mode. I think the ma'am was talking about COVID, and I think it's absolutely right. COVID-19 has brought really the core of digital transformation, or the momentum of digital transformation. Now you want to wait for another COVID-19 to happen every year, right? We don't want that, right? They're taking chances. So there's a story, this story is from Vineet Nair, who was the CEO of HCL. And Vineet and I was talking, and Vineet talks about this quite often. But I like this story. You know, he was traveling with his grandparents in a train. And then he, from a typical lower middle class family, they were traveling in train years ago. The train stopped at a junction. He was a 7-year-old boy. He got down from the upper berth. You know, train there is a berth, upper berth, middle berth, lower berths. He was on upper berth. He just got down. It was the middle of the night, like some 1 o'clock in the morning. And he got out of the train as well on the platform. Because he was very much fascinated by the platform, because his grandfather used to sell some stuff on the platform. Just wrapping up, man. 30 more seconds. I know that. So then all of a sudden, he was so fascinated, and all of a sudden he realized that the train started moving. So what happened? He said, and he was like, in all of you, like in your young age, he's like, doesn't matter, I'll catch it. I can see it. So he ran. And he ran, and he tried, he missed. He could not get inside the train. So now what happened? No, his still train was there. So the first time in his mind, he got a doubt. That, okay, yes, I can miss it. Then again he tried it. He's saying, okay, let me try with more rigor, more speed, more strength, and he tried it, and he tried to jump inside the train, he again missed it. Now what happens? There was a doubt, now what he gets is a fear. So now doubt to the fear has come in, that okay. Now he further again makes an attempt and again makes a try and tries to get inside it. He tries with a more rigor, more speed, but he again misses the pole on which he wants to catch hold of that coach. Now what happens? There's a panic. So there's a doubt, there's a fear, there's a panic. And he was losing all his energy with which he was trying to jump inside the train. He had two choices, like someone of you talked about by saying take another train. A 7-year-old boy, you think about it, he would have been never getting another train. He would have, in fact, being away from his family, all the stuff. He was thinking all that. No, I'll not meet my family. So he was panicked. He had two choices. To keep thinking about that at the station, or he was having a chance to try once more. This is exactly what happened with the Indian team on Sunday. We had a doubt first time when Rohit got out. We had a fear when Virat got out. We were in a panic when Rahul got out. And we could never recover from there. So Surya Kumar Yadav felt that, okay, I can't play the natural shots, what he is meant for. So this is where the difference you all can make is, don't get lost in a panic. Make another attempt, and this is where he made another attempt. He was running with the same rigor, same strength. He could not make it to the same coach, but all of a sudden, he realized that I am too far from that coach which I was supposed to be getting in. He is a small boy, he can't get inside it. All of a sudden he found there was a lady who was selling some mangoes on the platform. She just threw this person inside. This is what happens. This is what is called magic. So magic happens when you go beyond doubt, fear and panic. That's all from me. It was lovely talking to you guys. Thank you.